Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. So here we go, man. Early show, early Knicks weekly show. And very befitting because the Knicks made a hire today. We're going to get on to it. We're going to talk about it. The Knicks hired World Wide Wes. Now, it was rumored that he was going to hire World Wide Wes. It was rumored, but it didn't happen earlier, but it happened now. So it was announced today that the Knicks are hiring World Wide Wes. I'm not even sure what capacity they're hiring World Wide Wes. But as we're getting that information, I'm going to go ahead and have a conversation with the guys we got in the chat. I got my man Kevin in the chat. We got Guillermo in the chat. And we're going to go ahead and, I want to get your thoughts on it. Kevin, what's your thoughts, man? The Knicks just hired World Wide Wes. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are Leon Rose ain't playing. I think that it's a huge step, for us because you see the credibility that of who he is and what other ex-players are saying about this hire, and everybody, agrees with it. We can only go but up, and what better way to go up than with a competent management staff? And I think World Wide Wes is going to be real instrumental on getting those quote unquote free agents that that we keep clamoring for. Even though I'm not going to sway, I want us to still build from within and everything, but you still got to have veterans in there, and just the clientele that I know that he's associated with, I think that's going to be really big for us now. Now, with credibility, you've got to admit that with him and then everybody else that we put in the front office, it's going to look good for us. It's going to look good for us. So that's my take.
Yeah. Guillermo, what's your take, man? I think you got yourself muted, man.
Hold up. Sorry about that. So I checked I was reading some information. I was reading a Bleacher Report article on him. And here's what I say about this dude. Like, this dude, he is a legit snake, and I love it. You know what I mean? He is perfect for the Knicks in terms of when we go out and try to fleece teams. I talked about this last time. Remember when was it John Paxson fleeced us with Eddie Curry? You know what I mean? John Paxson was on the Bulls. And he was that type of guy. He made a few deals. That's why that mid-2000s Bulls team with Luol Deng, Kirk Heinrich, I mean, they made some shrewd moves. And I always remember John Pax or Jim Pax, I can't remember his name. And I was like, damn, I wish we had somebody in our front office to kind of fleece other teams. And, you read about this guy. This guy befriended LeBron James's mom's boyfriend just to get close to LeBron, who he then hooked up with Jay-Z. I mean, for the simple fact, I mean, the guy, it seems like he's one of these guys. Even the article started off basically pointing him as this guy that like who the hell is this? Like he basically just around people and then snuck his way into it. So if he could help immensely with negotiations, surveying the field and seeing who we got to get, not who we got to get, but excuse me, how we can get these people, how we can appeal to these people. Because again, New York is, I don't want to say, it's corny to say it's a sleeping giant, but you have a situation where there's so many opportunities where literally you can, I don't say fool, but you can convince players that if they win here, I mean, they will be a god in basketball. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that we should go out and destroy whatever organic build that we have. I think that's 90, 80% important, or that should be 80% of the focus. But you need these type of people to convince maybe even second-tier players that might be vital to us to come to the team. And if he could do that, if he could work his magic, the way he snaked his way into a lot of situations I'm reading about, King Angie mentioned that he's basically the mastermind behind that Kentucky dynasty or organization, if you want to call it, or organization dynasty, if you want to call it. I like the hire, man. I'm all for it.
Yeah, so he's going to be hired as the senior basketball advisor.
Yep.
All right, that's his role with the New York Knicks. That's what's been announced. And they announced it through their through their PR. So it's definitely official. You know, a lot of times it takes a while for the Knicks, you know, the rumor comes out, and then it takes a while for the Knicks to get it out through their PR. And listen, guys, man, you at work, you got to make sure you keep yourself muted until it's time for you to talk. But a lot of times, you know, it takes a while for the Knicks to get that stuff out there, but they put it out there. The New York Knicks announced today that William Wesley has been named executive vice president, senior basketball advisor. The terms of the deal were not disclosed. We are very excited to announce the hiring of William Wesley, someone that I have known for over 40 years and consider to be family, Knicks president Leon Rose said. He's one of the most well-connected and respected people in the basketball community, and he will be a tremendous asset and resource to both myself and the New York Knicks. My long history, let me pull this up. He says, my long history with respect for Jim Dolan and Leon Rose. Well, let me get this a little bit bigger. There you go. My long history with and respect for Jim Dolan and Leon Rose, as well as a chance to be part of the New York Knicks, made this an opportunity I wanted to pursue, said William Wesley. I look forward to joining the current staff and moving the organization towards a successful future. So there you go. The king of the backdoor channels. That's what he is. He's the king of the backdoor channels.
You know what he is, Tim? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Nah, I don't.
All right. So in Game of Thrones, hopefully he's basically Peter Baelish, Littlefinger. He's basically like this miser who he jumps from kingdom to kingdom, basically controlling things behind the scenes. And they screwed him over in season 8. But if you just even did like a wiki fandom, check up a wiki fandom page on him. If you look up Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, he is exactly who this dude is. A guy who can basically, he's like a kingmaker. I don't want to say kingmaker, but he's that guy who can snake his way into different kingdoms, influence stuff, and get what he wants, right? And you can never catch him. I said, bro, he's a snake, but he's our snake. So he's perfect for the Knicks. We need guys like this, so we don't have idiotic James Dolan going out and selling the whole team for Melo or involving himself. Let the snakes work for us. So this is perfect.
Nah, I feel you. That and you definitely need that kind of a guy. You know what I'm saying? You need that kind of a guy that can get back, do the things backdoor, under the table, all that kind of stuff. Nate, what's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's your take on it?
So I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about him. I just know that hopefully he has better speaking terms than Steve Stout does. If he does get in front of the TV or the camera. I mean, as long as he can put out good PR, I mean, I'm all for it. I feel like this organization needs good PR people. As far as his position, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if he does well with this position, just the way kind of he spoke highly, or him and Leon Rose have a really, really good relationship, I could see him trying to be promoted to general manager.
I'm not even sure that he's, for his entire career, he's basically been like an NBA socialite, right? He puts people together.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he does. I don't know if he's interested in being that. I mean, I guess maybe he is.
I went to him and asked him. I mean, you think he turned it down?
I don't know. Probably not. He's an executive vice. He's the what they say, the executive vice president. So I guess he is interested in having a high-ranking role within an organization.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be a confidant of Leon Rose, and they've known each other a long time.
I mean,
so it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. Listen, if he's already the executive vice president of whatever they said he was going to be, executive vice president, senior basketball advisor, is that already higher than the GM? I mean, I don't know what the Knicks I don't know what their organizational structure looks like. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen an organizational chart or anything like that. That could already be higher than the GM. I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So we will see. We will see how that looks. Isaiah, what's up, man?
And I know you were talking about me, some about who was working. I know you were talking about me.
Yes, I was talking about you. Obviously.
Listen, sometimes you just got to be a man, Simmons. Just say the names. Don't be scared. Say the names.
I muted you. So clearly I was talking about you. Because you come in all kind of noise in the background.
Hey, man. I'm just a working hard black man in America. And Guillermo, I know, shut up because I'm rambling. I know. But, when it comes to I'm excited, man. And Guillermo, I think you had the best example of Littlefinger. I'm a Game of Thrones fan. We don't talk about season 8. It's trash. But Littlefinger, that's him. If you watch Game of Thrones or if you did, man, that's perfect, man, because he's going to be the one doing the behind the scenes. He's going to have the quote unquote blood on his hands, the dirt. He's going to know where the bodies are buried. He's going to do what he has to do to make the Knicks better. I'm excited for this, man. I think Leon Rose, man. Listen, I know it's premature to say that he's doing a good job because, again, we have not bounced the basketball really under Leon Rose, and we haven't had a team under Leon Rose. But I can't not say that this man isn't doing his job and getting the right people in here personally, And I know we've seen it before, but we got to, see it in action. But I think these are the right people to get, man. And these are the people that's going to change this team for the better. Again, another great hire from Leon Rose. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it, man. I'm really am.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. He's putting together. If you want to say a squad, he's putting together a squad of a front office. You know what I'm saying? He's putting together a squad. So, obviously, it raises everybody's expectations as to what they're going to do. But they're putting together some people who can go to work. You know what I mean? Hopefully they're putting together some people who can go to work. What's up, Kev?
What I was going to say was that I think with this hiring, I could honestly see them really brainstorming of who the next coach is going to be. And because let's be honest, this is going to be Rose's defining moment of who he's going to bring in as to coach our team. And I think with I
think you muted. Yeah, you muted yourself.
Yeah, I think with World Wide Wes in there, they're going to expand the dialogue of who we want to coach our team. I mean, what does everybody else think about that?
I think they've already, listen, I'm pretty sure they knew that they were going to hire World Wide Wes for a while. And so he's probably given his input on some things already as far as the coaching search is concerned. And, everything else, paperwork and all of that kind of stuff, negotiating the right kind of deal, all of those things are semantics. He probably already had a little bit of input, as who he thinks with his connections could be a good fit. My question is, people always talk about free agents when it comes to the Knicks and how, there's such a bad reputation because of James Dolan. How much does having Leon Rose and World Wide Wes and the front office that he's already put together, how much does that influence the players and how they feel about signing with the New York Knicks?
It has to. It really does, because you've put pillars of people in the front office that players respect. Now, if a seasoned free agent really doesn't want to go here because of James Dolan, then that says a lot. because James Dolan has gone out and got people that players respect, admire. I mean, you've already seen. I've seen, with the hiring World Wide Wes, you saw Scottie Pippen, you saw Kendrick Perkins. You've seen people praise us for hiring this man. So with him, with the management team that we're having in place now, if no one really wants to come here, then that's going to say a lot about who James Dolan is and what it's about, which I think is, to me, a crock, because all James Dolan has done is give people opportunities to help better the team. So that's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Guillermo, I see you had something you wanted to say. You got your mic muted though.
Still muted.
I don't know. Your mic is unmuted.
Okay, now it's working. You had to. It said that you weren't allowing me to mute, but so I was just reading some more about this dude, World Wide Wes, and he did have a relationship with. He definitely has a relationship with Dolan, and I believe he also, of course, now my computer wants to act stupid and pop up ads, but I was reading that he had a relationship with Donnie Walsh as well. And so this guy, like I said, he knows how to snake his way into some front offices. And the thing that he does for the Knicks is that he adds credibility, right? So when we had Donnie Walsh, you had a guy, if James Dolan allowed Donnie Walsh to do his thing, you basically erase the owner, because a lot of these basketball franchises, the best ones usually run where the owner is non-existent. Owner basically just pays the people, sits back and lets qualified people do their jobs. And that's what a lot of these players want: consistency in the front office. They want security, that they don't have some psycho owner, like the Kings trying to come in and implement a 4-and-5 cherry picking offense. It's like dogs. Why? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. They don't want somebody who knows nothing about basketball having major input. They just, hey, you sign the checks. That's good enough. Hey, you could probably help me out with endorsements and that stuff. Good enough. You stay out the way. Let the coaches, let those other people do. So what this does is that adds credibility, right? Are we going to sign Giannis because of this? Probably not. But again, this will be really important with the second tier free agents, right? The guys that, they can put us over the hump. The 3-point specialists that everybody wants, right? The budding center, who can space the floor. The young point guard who just needs, an Alonzo Trier from another team, kind of, a guy that he comes to the Knicks and he might become the next John Starks or something like that. You want this guy. So then when you bring those guys on, then now you look like the Toronto Raptors, right? A team that has a bunch of talent, and now they go from 20-some wins to say 40, 50-some wins each year. And then you make that big push to get the Kawhi Leonard. Then you make the big push. But what these guys are, it's credibility building, because you want to, again, erase all the throw up that James Dolan has allowed. And I'll say this about James Dolan: he did allow Steve Mills to do, I guess he took advice, or what he is on advice or advice of others, and he stayed away. Now, you stayed away with the wrong guy in Steve Mills, but if he stays away with these guys and allows these guys to work, these guys know the industry, these guys know the league. Again, Leon Rose, I'll be the first to tell you I was unsure, because I'm not a fan of agents coming in and being major figures for a team. I'm not a fan of them being GMs, but he did hire, again, those guys, Perrin and Manning. He hired basketball people, and now he's hiring a guy to basically be a snake, a hunter, with these negotiations. So again, all what he's doing right now is credibility building, and he's also what's name with scouting. So this might also help with when you're talking about, I wish King NG was here, because he knows more about college basketball. But if this guy was a part of building that Kentucky team, again, when you're talking about some of these free agents, some of these college prospects, I don't want to say the second tier prospects, but guys that World Wide Wes might have a better track or better intel into, right? He may know that this guy comes from a strong family, that, maybe certain things held him back from being good. And so he's going to be drafted this low, but maybe we should draft him at this level because World Wide Wes has that proper intel on him. Stuff like that can help. You want as even international. I don't know what he does international, but again, you want these snakes. And I keep saying snakes because they are snakes, but you want these snakes that basically they go around the high schools, they go around the colleges, they're scouting. They're doing it like what's that movie? He Got Game. You know what I mean? They find the next Jesus Shuttlesworth, the underrated Jesus Shuttlesworth. They know who that next guy is. So we're not missing out on Donovan Mitchell. We're not missing out on these guys that, oh, the Knicks could have had him. It'll be next time, oh, the Knicks drafted him. People booed us, and then he's the star that's helping bring the Knicks back into contender mode, contention.
Yeah. Nate, I'm gonna get to you 1 minute. Let me get you a couple phone calls. Caller, you live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Yo, what up, Sim? How you doing, my man? How's everything?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
I'm good. I just wanted to talk about World Wide Wes.
All right.
Why do you think it took so long? Because we heard about this for months now. Do you know why it took this amount of time?
I don't know. There was a time when I think that they were not going to hire him in the organization.
Really?
Right?
So what do you think changed?
And then they changed their mind. I don't know what changed their mind. My question is this, and maybe this is one of the reasons why they thought maybe they would not hire him. Can World Wide Wes do the same job now that he is an official executive of the team? Can he do all the back channel work that he did before?
All right.
What kind of obstacles now face him, right? Because if he does some of that back channel work,
right,
it could come back on the team, in the organization, right? Tampering, whatever you want to say, right? It could come back, and obviously that stuff goes on anyway. Orlando is going to be a hotbed for tampering, probably, right? It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But how much, knowing the kind of work that he does, usually he's a consultant to teams, right? Consultant to agents. He's a matchmaker, that kind of behind the scenes matchmaker guy. So obviously he has relationships with everyone, but he wasn't working with a team. He had connections. How much now that he's an executive does it not? It's not going to take away the connections. You still got the connections, but can you still do? I was just going
to say, as long as he still has those connections, which I would think he still does.
You still got the connections, but can you do the underground work that you were doing before?
Yeah, right. Well,
you know what I mean?
And maybe the benefit of the doubt, I guess, and just hope, right? That's all we can do right now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he can. And that could have been some of the trepidation that Leon Rose and the Knicks had with hiring him.
One wonder, what happened, So I just actually, do you think that we can, my vibe I'm getting is that we're kind of going to try and win, probably maybe even start next year. That's just the sense I'm getting. So do you think we can do that while keeping, our asset, our draft picks that we have a lot of in our, our young players, or do you think they're just going to kind of just put anyone on the table?
Yes, I do. I think that you can find a way to bring in, to bring in free agents, to bring in players that they don't have to be star players, short contract players. The same type of model that they did last year.
Yeah,
really,
that's what
the same model.
They're gonna go with?
Well, I don't know about Listen, every GM, every president, they're gonna want to reshape the team, right? But I'm just saying the same model. They hired guys on short contracts to see if some of them that they can keep, maybe some of them they don't keep, but guys that they thought that they could put around the young guys to help create a winning team. And maybe with a different coach and a point guard, it might have worked. Right.
So do you think they're still taking a long-term route, or you think they're going to try maybe do a quick fix, which I don't necessarily want?
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a quick fix, right? People keep saying quick fix, like, okay, we're gonna trade a couple of our young guys so we can bring in this star so we can make the 7th to 8th seed. I don't think it's going to be that kind of thing,
right?
No, I think it will be strategically moving pieces so that you can keep your cap flexibility, you can keep your young stars, your young players. You can keep, you might give up. Listen, they accumulated some draft picks. They might give up some draft picks to get something, right? That's the whole purpose of accumulating draft picks. So so that you can use all of them, because no one ever looks at the big picture. Everyone talks about, get all the draft picks you can. Well, guess what? When you get all the draft picks you can, you still got to pay those guys. And first-round draft picks are guaranteed for a certain amount of time. A team that collects a bunch of draft picks, they don't collect a bunch of first-round draft picks so that they can draft all of them. They collect a bunch of first-round draft picks so they can use them in trades, so they can use them as assets so that they can acquire better players. Right, so they may
so who do you
trade
think,
it.
if we were to use them, who do you think our target, whenever, say our top 2 or 3 targets could be?
Well, we're going to get to that a little bit later on in the show.
All right, no doubt. No doubt.
But, so yes, I think it's very possible that you can put together a team that can contend for the 8th seed, which could be very important to me for the Knicks to contend for that 8th seed, maybe make the 8th seed, and it's very important to the young guys' development while still keeping your young core intact and hoping that one of those guys that are in the young core turns into a star. Turns into a foundational piece. So, but anyway, man.
Appreciate it, man.
No doubt. I appreciate you, bro.
One. All right, man.
Later. Get to another call here. Caller, you live on Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Just want to say I just got a couple comments to make on my opinion on where the Knicks should go, how they should proceed forward after the hiring of World Wide Wes. First of all, it was a good point that you brought up that obviously he can't do a lot of behind the scenes work because he's in an official capacity. So that was a good point that you brought up. However, I hope, and I really, really hope that the Knicks do not hire Thibodeau as the next head coach. I was never a fan of Thibodeau, his coaching style, and I think he would not vibe correctly with the current style of players that the NBA is cycling in. This is a relationship kind of league. Obviously, the Knicks are hiring a lot of people that have relationships throughout the league with Rose and West, and Thibodeau is a part of that. But I just hope the Knicks go in a different direction when it comes to the head coach. So,
yeah, I know. Do you think that World Wide Wes can do the same job?
I don't. I mean, like you said earlier, it happens. But again, I mean, the Knicks have already taken a lot of L's, not just on the court but off the court. It would be a nightmare if, from whatever reason, World Wide Wes is caught up in, with tampering or anything like that with other players. Like, I mean, these guys, Rose and West, they have a lot of relationships around the league with all these players. I've been hearing Devin Booker's name. And, he's with Phoenix for another 3 or 4 years from what I hear. So, I mean, we don't want that kind of PR nightmare. So I don't think he can actually do the same job now that he's in official capacity.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, it's a good question because he may not be able to do the same job, because he's in an official capacity. But he still has those connections.
He does. The connections, the players. I mean, again, I heard the Knicks need to have superstars. In order for the Knicks to win, it doesn't matter who the coach is. They need to have superstars on the team. And I've heard Devin Booker's name. And in order for the Knicks to get Devin Booker to come to the Garden, they're either going to have to make a trade for him or wait 3-4 years when he hits free agency. Because he's definitely leaving Phoenix. He's not going to stay there. I mean, I think we all can agree on that. He's not going to stay in Phoenix. So the Knicks would potentially have to trade a young asset in order to get someone like Devin Booker to come to the team. Could that be R.J. Barrett? I don't think it will. Could it be Mitch? Could it be a draft pick? But the Knicks need to get a superstar to the team. So if Devin Booker's going to be that guy, they're going to have to trade an asset or two in order to be able to draw him to the Garden. Okay. And as far as the other players that they have, connections with, I mean, if they're free agents, then let's try to see if we can get him over here. But if we got to trade for one, then Knicks fans should expect one of the young guys on the team to be traded, without a doubt.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're trading for a star, yes, right? If you're trying to trade for a star, then that could be possible. If you're trading for expiring or bloated contracts, bad contracts, then the other team is maybe at your mercy a little bit. It depends on what they're doing. You know what I mean? If you're looking for the trade, if you're looking to trade for like a Devin Booker, then yes, you're gonna give up some assets. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know why they will. 2021 is the big free agent, off season, and everyone's targeting Giannis, but the Knicks have never been able to attract that free agent. So the only expiring contract I think that we're gonna have is Randall, which bye, we don't need him.
That's next. His expiring contract is next year.
Right, that's next year. So the next offseason, 2021, that's when Giannis is going to be available as a free agent. But at the same time, we have been doing that for years, trading for these expiring contracts, trying to, attract people in free agency, and we just haven't been able to do that. So, I'm real interested to see what these guys are going to pull off. I'm excited. It's some type of Knicks news, but we got to be able to get free agents to come into the Garden, at least 2 of them, in order for us to even think about winning. Because without that, it's not going to happen. Not in the NBA the way it's presently constructed.
Okay. All right. Hey, man, I appreciate your call, bro.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right. All right. Let me ask you, Kev. I see you got your mic open. And Nate, you can go ahead and open up your mic. Do you think World Wide Wes can do the same job now that he's in an official capacity with the New York Knicks? Because his game is working the I don't want to say underworld. His game is underground. His game is doing the backdoor stuff, the back channel stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he does. The back channel, that's the NBA terms. I'll just, underground. I like the underground term. I like saying underground.
He can kind of do it, but it's going to be hard with the tampering rules and all that in place. I think he's going to have to be real careful exactly what he says or who he says it to. If anything, he probably might try to find somebody else outside of the Knicks organization to maybe kind of pass his message along rather than him directly talking to players or other teams. It's possible, man. But I don't know. I worry about these tampering rules. Like, they're so strict now. And I just don't know if he's going to try to jeopardize his position.
All right, yeah. I'm going to spin it this way. I don't know how many years he's been doing what he's doing, but I'm going to go on a limb and probably say that he can pull it off. I think as long as he's brushing up on the rules or into some type of capacity like that, I think that he can pull off getting those conversations, getting those meetings, those back channels of what Nate, you were talking about. I got confidence in the dude, and again, it's just all about in this case, conversations. I think he can. I think Wild Wild West can pull it off. Again, people were saying, how much of a great hire that we did. When are we ever getting complimented for that? So that's why I say, I'm going to put my faith in, into World Wide West.
Okay.
Hey, Sim, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think World Wide Wes improves our chances of at least getting to the table with some of these top-notch free agents?
Oh, clearly. I think the entire front office construction, because look, you have James Dolan, and then you have the front office construction, and then, of course, you have the team. You have that middle person, that middle group there, that if it's strong enough, I think players will say, you know what? We got to go through this front office, or James Dolan has to, not that he has to go through the front office, but we got this buffer here. We got a front office that knows what they're doing. Obviously, they have to prove it. But with the connections that Leon Rose has and the relationships that he has and the respect that he has with players around the league, World Wide Wes has the same type of respect and relationship with players. I do believe that they will be able to attract some players.
Are you worried at all at the respect of James Dolan in the NBA right now?
No, I think that's mostly media driven. Honestly, I think it's mostly media driven. People are gonna, what happens? You get one player, two players that say, James Dolan, I would never play for them. And there may be some, end of the bench players, and then it goes out there, oh, players don't want to play for James Dolan. You know what? If he's cutting the check and they're getting paid what they want to get paid, they will play for him. I can guarantee it. Guillermo?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you guys don't think that these people don't work back channels, even on the so-called professional level, I mean, dogs, we're in a
obviously they do.
No. I'm just saying, like, he's going to find a way. I mean, you have it where LeBron James is a conflict of interest where he basically runs an agency that's basically allowed to sign players as they want. Let's be honest. His boy, the one who runs it, come on, he is LeBron James. So they talk. The thing is that once you get to the NBA level, right, you use personalities, you use a Stephen A. Smith to kind of put it out there, kind of like a softball kind of put it out there, that's happening. They have people who talk. They have this guy. Why do you think is their entourages always have guys where it's like this person's always connected here and there, but they don't have any official title to anything. They in every picture, and you're like, who the hell is this generic dude who's always around LeBron James, that's always around Anthony Davis, that's always around these players? And it's like, you don't know who the hell they are. So they work through these people, and those people, you look at their Instagrams where they live, and they're getting paid. So there are plenty of ways to work it. You just can't be stupid like Magic Johnson and say, yeah, I like this player who's on this team. It's like, dogs, like, what are you doing? You got to be smart about it. Clutch Sports, thank you. My mind is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty obviously, it's done all around the NBA, and this tampering rules that really don't get paid much attention to, but every once in a while somebody gets fined for it. And I'm pretty sure most teams, if it's going to get them a player, will take the $50,000 fine or whatever it is for a tampering charge. Right. But it still may hamper some of the things he does a little bit. We'll see how he works it. I don't know. We'll see how he works it. Big shout out to CM. Thank you for the super chat. He said, love the content. Keep doing your thing. We all appreciate you for providing this space, especially during these times. Keep growing. Thank you. I appreciate your support, man. And at that point, and I know people hate when I do this, guys, but I'm going to switch everybody over to Sportscaster. So I'm asking you to come on over to Sportscaster. The link is already in the description here. All right, so you can come into the description, go into the description below, and get the link for Sportscaster. I'm also putting the link in the YouTube chat, so you can come on over to Sportscaster. We're going to talk about some stuff with Scott Perry. I think Nate brought it up earlier. How does everything look for Scott Perry? Plus, Scott Perry came out and talked about racial unjust. The Knicks had a roundtable, so to speak. All right, and Scott Perry had a few things today to say. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about potential trade targets for the New York Knicks. Any potential trade targets that you may think of. We're going to talk about that with the New York Knicks. So do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Join me on Sportscaster. I just spammed my own YouTube chat. All right, spam my own YouTube chat. And the link is in the description. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys over on Sportscaster. I'll catch you there, YouTube. Sportscaster. Everyone on Sportscaster, stay tuned and just stay with me because we're still live. All right, so YouTube, I'm out.